What's up, guys? Kevin here from Relax Learn Guitar. I help music lovers over 40 become the guitar players they've always wanted to be using my easy-to-follow lessons. I believe you're never too old to learn. Excited for this lesson. This is probably the first thing, the number one thing that I teach my students in our Relax Learn Guitar membership when they want to move more from that beginner sound to the more intermediate and just kind of make their playing and strumming more interesting. If you would like more information about the Relax Learn Guitar membership option, check out the link in the comment below. I'm excited for this lesson because I do think it makes a really, really big difference. So grab the guitar, follow along, and let's get started. If you'd like to learn 3 more songs using just 5 chords, stick around to the end of the lesson and I'll show you how to do that. So you've probably heard the old adage, or maybe you haven't, that your left hand or your fretting hand is what you know when it comes to playing the guitar, and that your strumming hand, my right hand, is who you are. This lesson is very much going to focus on who we are, not so much what we know, but it's going to be focusing on our strumming hand because it's really, really important. So one of the first things I want people to realize is, let's start with this. We're going to do an imaginary, and we're writing a song today, okay? Super simple. 3 chords. We're going to have a D. The verse is going to be a D to a C. And our chorus is going to be a G to a C. And we're going to, I'm going to show you how just changing the dynamics, and that's the focus of this lesson. Dynamics is how you can quickly improve your playing and to sound more real or interesting, and how you can move from that beginner to intermediate kind of sound when it's coming to playing the guitar. So kind of tip number 1 is if you, let's say you're out at a club or whatever, you're watching someone play guitar and they're kind of giving it this. If they do that for a long time, you're probably going to get uninterested and stop listening, okay? Or let's say the singer is and they're kind of giving it this. This is me, I'm singing a song, I'm not changing much, what's going on? I have the same meter, I have the same breath. I mean, I don't know. There might be someone out there that loves that kind of music, and I very much respect all kinds of music, but singing in kind of that monotone voice or playing at the same kind of dynamic is going to get old fast, especially if you kind of start out loud. And I'll see this with a lot of beginners. Kind of heavy-handed, right? So kind of tip number 1 is you want to start in the middle. So if you do this, I have a lot of room to move. I can get loud, I can get soft. If you like this lesson, you're probably going to like more of my lessons. I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe to the YouTube channel here. Come back often and check out lessons and live streams. It would really help us out. We work hard to bring these lessons to you each week to help you relax learn guitar, and subscribing would be much appreciated. Thanks. So I tell folks to think about an ocean. When you're looking at an ocean, it's rarely the same, right? It's calm in some places, wind might be blowing over here and the waves are kind of small. The beach might be having these huge crashing waves, so it's kind of up and down. That's how your playing should be. Up and down, push and pull, loud and soft. Simple things you can do to make a huge difference when you're playing. So for kind of that first tip is you want your wave to start, and we're going to just have the analogy of waves for our strumming. You want to start somewhere in the middle, so you got somewhere to go. You can go down, you can go up, and keep that interest and keep it sounding real. Number 2 is you can change the dynamics of like that verse and that chorus. And it's something that's really popular and sounds really good. There's a reason it's popular and why a lot of bands do this. You might have like a lower, softer verse and then a larger, booming chorus. So for our imaginary song, you could have something like this. So when that loud booming chorus comes in, like your ears perk up. You are like, hey, what's going on? I should probably keep listening to this and see what happens next, because you may not be able to predict it, or maybe you can, and either of those is fine. So I didn't change the tempo there. It was the same strum pattern, the same kind of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and all I did was change the dynamics to make a big difference. Number 3 is paying attention to the space in your strumming. What? What is this dude talking about? I'm definitely not gonna keep watching this video. Hopefully you do keep watching the video. So the space in between your strums is kind of like the space between the waves. So I'll give you an example. So it's kind of similar to the kind of loud and soft dynamic, but what I'm doing, my hand does not stop strumming. The strum pattern here is just going to be a down up. That doesn't change. And my right hand, my strumming hand, never stops strumming. It keeps going up and down. But it's moving. There's a space between the waves, right? So my hand is moving further. When it moves further into my strings, it's going to get louder, and you're going to hit more of the strings and have more of an impact. When you move it away just slightly, and I'm not talking like these kind of waves, I'm talking like really subtle changes you can make into the space between your strumming, or between your pick or your strum or your finger picking and the strings. That kind of thing. Number 4 is you don't have to play all the strings at one time when you're playing these chords. So another effective thing for our verse in our song, our imaginary song, playing the verse with that same pattern up here on the high strings, strings 1, 2, 3, a little bit of 4. The higher kind of treble end of the strings. And then when that G and C come in, play all the strings of the chord. You can also kind of play in the middle. And then when you open it all up, it just makes it more lush, more interesting. Number 5 is you can play the individual strings of a chord, and you'll see me do this a lot. So here I am just strumming the chords. Here I am playing the individual strings of the chord. See, same chords. But I'm not as intent on playing all the strings at the same time to get that kind of full chord sound. I'm just kind of picking around in those individual strings of that chord. A little up, down. Then I make it to that chorus, and I might strum all the strings to make the difference there for the dynamics. And then the last one I have is kind of palm muting. And I have a video on this. I'll leave that up here at the end of the video for you to watch if you want to go check that out. Palm muting is when you use the fat part of your palm and you actually like rest it right there on your strings. You're back here by the bridge of your guitar. You're going to play around with a little bit because there's a sweet spot on every guitar, and if you're kind of moving your hand too far up toward the sound hole, you get this, which is percussive but not great. And back here you find that sweet spot. So you could do like a palm muting in the verse and play some individual strings nice and light, and then go to that chorus. Or you could kind of palm mute the bass notes of those chorus chords. It's a little more rock and roll. This palm muting is a huge use advantage. You should definitely use that to spice up your playing. So I'm just going to kind of go through the things we've talked about here to show you the differences and what you can do. Again, I'm using the same just 3 chords, 2 in the verse, 2 in the chorus, and similar strum pattern, but look at what a difference the dynamics make. So kind of just an example here for you. So that is the lesson of the day. Take these techniques, use them, practice them, experiment with them. That's what the guitar is for. And I really hope they help you take your playing to that kind of beginner to intermediate level and kind of tell some more stories, make your strumming more interesting. To check out those 3 songs I brought up earlier using just 5 chords, you can check out this video here where I show you how to do that. You can add those to your song list. If you'd like a lesson on much more detail about using palm muting to change up your dynamics and change up your sound, then check out this video. And remember, you're never too old to learn, and I'll see you guys for the next lesson.